Welcome, everyone. I want you to imagine for a moment that I hand you a pill. I tell you it's going to make you feel better. Less pain, more calm. You take it, and you do feel better. Then, I tell you it was made of sugar. What just happened in your brain? Today, we're diving into one of the most mind-bending phenomena in medical science, the placebo effect. It's not magic. It's not all in your head in the dismissive sense. It's your brain running its own internal pharmacy. And by the end of this talk, you'll never think about belief the same way again. Here's our roadmap. We'll start with the wow factor, what the placebo effect can actually do. Then we'll unpack what it really is, take a lightning tour through its bizarre history, peek inside your skull at the neuroscience, look at some eyebrow-raising numbers from clinical trials, and then tackle the wildest part, placebos that work even when you know they're fake. We'll wrestle with the ethical knots and wrap up with what all of this means for you. Buckle up. Here's the headline from Harvard Health. Under the right circumstances, a placebo can be just as effective as traditional treatments. Let that sink in. A sugar pill, something with zero pharmacological activity, can match the effect of a real drug. This isn't fringe science. This is peer-reviewed, replicated mainstream medicine coming to terms with an uncomfortable truth. The brain is a healing machine we barely understand. The question isn't, does placebo work? The question is, how on earth does it work so well? Let's clear up the biggest misconception right away. The placebo effect is not just positive thinking. It's not wishful thinking. It's not mind over matter in some vague self-help sense. Harvard researchers describe it as creating a stronger connection between the brain and body, a genuine neurobiological event. And here's the kicker. Responding to a placebo doesn't mean you're gullible or that your condition was imaginary. It means your brain activated real healing mechanisms, real neurochemicals, real physiological changes. The word placebo comes from Latin, placebo, meaning I shall please. It started as something doctors gave patients when they had nothing else to offer, a way to comfort, to satisfy. In the late 18th century, Alexander Sutherland introduced it into medical language. Fast forward to 1955, Henry Beecher drops a bombshell paper called The Powerful Placebo. Then the 1990s brought brain imaging, and suddenly we could see the placebo effect lighting up neural pathways. The 2010s gave us the wildest twist of all, open-label placebos, where patients know it's fake. And here we are in 2026, rethinking everything. So what's actually happening up there? When you believe a treatment will work, your brain releases real neurotransmitters, dopamine, endorphins, the body's own painkillers. Your pain pathways literally quiet down. Brain scans show the same circuits lighting up as when you take actual pharmaceutical drugs. This isn't metaphor. This is measurable, observable neurochemistry. Your expectation alone triggers a cascade that looks remarkably like the real thing. It's as if your brain has a built-in pharmacy, and belief is the prescription. Let's talk numbers. A massive secondary analysis of clinical trials found something stunning. Improvement rates in placebo groups correlate at R equals 0.78 with improvement in the actual treatment groups. That's a very strong correlation. Meanwhile, in depression trials, when placebo response rates hit 30% or higher, it becomes incredibly difficult to prove the drug actually works better than a sugar pill. This is a genuine crisis for drug developers and a testament to the mind's power, and we've been documenting this for over 250 years. Now here's where things get really weird. Researchers started telling people this is a placebo, it's made of sugar, it has no active ingredient, and then those people still got better. These are called open-label placebos, and they've shown promising results for conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, chronic pain, and even ADHD. No deception, no secret, just the ritual of taking a pill, the expectation embedded in that act, and the body responding. It turns out you don't need to be tricked for the placebo effect to work. You just need to participate. Of course, it's not all warm and fuzzy. The ethical debate around placebos is real and important. On one hand, open-label placebos sidestep the deception problem entirely. No lies, full consent, and still genuine therapeutic benefit. That's huge. On the other hand, in clinical trials, giving someone a placebo when an effective treatment already exists is ethically dicey. you're potentially denying them real care. And vulnerable groups like children or terminally ill patients raise even harder questions. Where do we draw the line? The conversation is ongoing, and it's a healthy one. So here's what I want you to take away. The placebo effect isn't a trick. It's not a flaw in science. And it's definitely not just in your head. It's evidence of something remarkable, that your beliefs, your expectations, your rituals, they have biological weight. They change your brain chemistry. They can heal your body. This doesn't replace medicine, but it does mean that how we think about treatment, about the doctor-patient relationship, about the power of ritual and belief, all of it matters more than we ever gave it credit for. Your mind is not just along for the ride. It's driving. Thank you.